What if every episode started with me quickly running into the room? I actually sort of like that. It's sort of a nice, as the kids would say, vibe. Welcome to Danswers, the only live stream on the internet. I don't look a lot. I don't check the internet a lot. But when I do check, I've noticed that there's zero live streams on the internet. I've never seen anyone else, and it is cutting edge, and it is sort of one of those sort of pioneer things. It's like when Bob Dylan famously played with an electric guitar at I believe it was the Newport Jazz Festival. Uh, People tried to stop him. They tried to attack him. They tried to take down his music. Someone tried cutting the wires. And when I do live streams, I'm constantly attacked. I'm constantly under threat. People do not want me to do this. People want to silence me for my wild, crazy opinions on things, such as exercising in moderation can feel nice sometimes, and eating a big burger is good. Anyway, hello Dan. I hope you're well. I hope you're well too. Let's get the chat alive, folks. All right. If you're not a person who usually enters the chat, this is your chance. If you went to middle school dances and found yourself staring at the wall, pretending to take phone calls on a cell phone that you just got for your mom, going to the bathroom once every 5 minutes, not because you have to go, but because that's a place that no one's going to attack you. Okay? The bathroom's a beautiful place at parties where no one's going to follow you in there. Well, God forbid they do. And ask you why aren't you talking to anyone? Why are you alone? We're hitting you right now. Stop asking us why we're hitting you right now. These are the questions people ask. I got some questions on Instagram. People asked. I'm going to be checking this because it's a live link that is up. And this is a great question. Where did you get your haircut? It's a philosophical question. It's a question that takes a lot of thinking, a lot of pondering, a lot of answering. Where did you get your haircut is a sort of question like, where is your place of origin? I go to just a little barbershop. Nothing too special. Nothing too exciting. I will say this. I am disappointed at the amount of comments I get about my hair. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate the positive comments about my hair. It doesn't mean I don't appreciate the negative comments on my hair. A European man recently commented on one of my videos, why do American men like this stupid look? And I got to say, that feels nice. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. Feels nice to be part of a look, because that's never really been my thing. I've never been a part of a look in my whole life. A lot of people have. There's a lot. Listen, whether you're kind of like, let's say, goth adjacent, whether you're preppy, a lot of preppy people out there. You know what? This actually brings me to an important topic. People who are still and I'm not talking about people with $1 billion. I'm talking about like regular people that wear polos and khakis, maybe Sperry's. Those were If you had where I went to school in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts, sort of near Cape Cod. If you had a pair of Sperry's and pastel shorts and a polo, brother, you're getting a hand job. All right? If you're wearing Oakley's, Sperry's, pastel shorts, solid color polo, you are getting a hand job behind the Marion Harbor Marina. Okay? That's just the whole half of it. That's all I have to say about that. But that's a great question about the haircut. Oh, I honestly really liked your humor and content. I'm so sad right now. Explain that. Interesting. Someone has posted a comment of disapproval. And you know something? I welcome that as much as a comment of approval. I'd love to know why. I'd love to know why you're sad right now. Or are those two different thoughts? Are you saying, I honestly, oh, well, you said liked. So that is past tense. So I do assume that you're saying that you used to like my comedy, but due to perhaps my comment on getting hand jobs, you have decided that it's not really your thing. And listen, I understand that, but explain. You're one of the only people in the chat right now. See, this is actually a good lesson in negative energy and how it enters your life. Is when you don't really have any other options for other forms of energy to enter your life through positive comments. You just got to let you need some energy in your life, positive or negative. But as I wait for that person to respond, I'm going to go into another question. This person just said, I want to hit you. And hey, it's fine. If you were ever to go gay, who could turn you? Hey, people been barking up that tree for a while, brother. Sorry to say. All right. Take a damn army. Okay. I've said this in videos before, but if you think you're straight, you should move to LA to make sure, because if you're straight in, like, an outskirt of Cincinnati, that's great, but you don't really know because the options aren't really presented to you, are they? You can't really be sure. But when you move to LA, if you remain straight, you are, brother, you're straight. You're a straight man. Well, chat's real dead, unfortunately. I wish that I wish that I had something to bounce off of. I don't really have a lot to talk about. We're in the holiday season. My brain has essentially shut off. I really wish that we got a comment or another comment from this. I'm gonna pin their comment because I think that's funny. I wish that we got a follow-up comment from this person who said, I honestly really liked your humor and content. I'm so sad right now because I am curious. I'm truly curious. I don't feel bad about anything I've said so far, so I would just like to know. The Sissy Boys podcast, we just decided to not do it anymore. We all kind of had our own projects going on and couldn't find the time. And also, it was just one of those things that we felt it had run its course. We felt that we had, like, kind of explored it creatively. And, it's not to say that it won't come back eventually, but for now, I think that we're all off kind of doing our own thing. But it's a great question. There's nothing wrong with that question. Even if I have addressed it before, there's no bad feeling. Cooper did okay. So recently, Cooper did mail me anthrax. My co-host on Sissy Boys, Cooper Lyman, did mail me a big bag of anthrax, and it could mean a lot of things. It's like you don't want to jump the gun and be like, "Oh, oh, Cooper doesn't like me anymore. Cooper's mad at me," right? But on the other hand, it does seem like a bit of a slight when you open the mail. You come home from a long day of work at the hype house that I live in, and you open your mail, and you see that Cooper Lyden, my good friend, a guy that I really like, mailed me a gigantic bag of anthrax. But it could mean a lot of stuff. It could be him kind of saying, hey buddy, how are you, and get your attention, and I would appreciate that. So I'm willing to hear that from Cooper. Matt sent a guy to my house to kick my ass. But that's just kind of a thing that we do That's I feel like that's more of just like a friend thing. That's more of a thing like buddies would do. When Matt sent the guy to my house to kick my ass, I honestly I called him still bleeding and I was like, "Good one. That was a good one, buddy. I appreciate that." Oh, great question. God, I'm so sad that we lost Anibal Alvarez. Anibal Alvarez could have had such a good conversation. We could have come to so many terms. I'm going to while doing this live stream, let's look up Anibal Alvarez. Um well, there's a Wikipedia. Oh, a Cuban looks like a Cuban football player. So Wikipedia, if this is the Anibal Alvarez that did send that message, which I do hope it is, I was disparaged by a real, honest to goodness, excellent athlete. And that's, Annabelle, you changed your mind. Now, I really do want you to respond to this. What made you make the initial comment? I wanna work this out on the live stream. God knows I have nothing better to do. Okay, so please let me know. Let me know why you were attacking me, and also please let me know. Are you a renowned, respected footballer? Because that would be pretty interesting. I would like to know that. I would like to see that. Hmm. I wish we got more questions on the good old Instagram, but it's mostly just people asking me stuff like that's my friend Brian Vokey's comedy video. Shout out Brian Vokey, very funny guy. But also I just kind of started doing this, so I don't have to feel too insecure. Oh, Mark, thank you for asking that. I have dates sort of Portland figured out. I definitely have Denver figured out. I just have to consult with the booker about timing and stuff for that, but definitely Denver, Portland, hopefully Vegas. The Vegas date is now kind of yeah, I built a headlining set. I can easily do at least 45 now. Well, easily. Sorry. That way too overconfident there. I can do 45 now. But you know, and this is to the three people listening. I feel like I need to find a way to make this more interesting. And I will do that. I just got to find a way to build it out. Um but yeah, I'll be headlining relatively soon. It just feels boring to go on the lot. I mean, I guess people don't give a shit, but I do truly wish people were to ask me questions because that is when I feel creative in answering questions. But you can't force anyone to do anything. You know what I mean? We're all working with our own set of we're all working with our own set of tits. That's what I always say. But great question. I mean, the do I like the East Coast or definitely don't have a preference. Don't have a preference at all. I think I think to like I think you can say this is as big as I will go with generalizations. I will say I like one restaurant more than another restaurant and barely that. I don't really have a lot of preference. I mean, you're talking about such a big place. Because when you think about it, it's like when you go to a place, you can only really like walk around in a certain amount of square footage of that place. So anyone who's like, "Oh, I hate whatever city you're gonna put in," you're talking about the part of it that you went to, and you probably suck at picking places to go. Not you. D845. Okay. I would never insult you in that way. But yeah, I don't like, I guess maybe this is why, because I'm not like a hot takes guy. I should do more hot takes. I should go, listen, best part of the country, mid fucking west. All right, dumbasses, you coastal elites, number one place in the world, Des Moines. Okay? Get over to Iowa if you want to see the real ass world. Bias towards the East Coast. That's fine. That's fine. There's nothing wrong. Even if you've actually lived in a city, it's like, listen, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. Probably didn't live in that great a part of the city. Now, am I saying that Hidden Hills, Los Angeles is the most ideal place to live in the world? No. I always say I'm glad they do, but I am always, and maybe my mind will change if I win $1 million in the lottery or whatever. Like $1 million matters anymore. $1 million is fucking like nothing now. It's so funny that like that's still the gold standard. Um, it's not nothing, but in terms of like true wealth and like long-term prosperity, $1 million, like because of inflation and shit, is kind of bad. Um, but what was I saying? God damn it. Oh, places to live. Yeah, no, you don't I'm always confused by places that rich people tend to live, because it's always like you probably want to be around other rich people. You probably want like, there's probably different amenities, different tax breaks in certain areas, right? But at the end of the day, I'm like, if you're rich, that means you have all this freedom and power. So why do you live in the one place they tell you should live? It makes no sense to me. Do you write down your jokes or just out of memory? Do you plan them on a whiteboard, paper, computer? How does your creative process work? That's a great question. I write them down. I got a notebook. I go to a coffee shop down the street from. I actually have a pretty specific creative process. There's a coffee shop that I walk down the street to, and I sit down there and I write for like 45 minutes, an hour a day. And then a lot of the time, stand up bits will just come from like conversations I have with friends, but then it's like going back and forth with that. But hearing my perspective on this is actually kind of interesting, because you usually hear this from like the creative process of like good accomplished stand-ups. And to be completely honest, this isn't me being self-deprecating or whatever. I'm not like bad at, I can definitely do an hour of stand up, but like I am certainly not at like a hyper high level of it yet. Getting better every day. So I'm sure that'll change for me, because it's definitely not like, you know, it's not perfect yet. And I got a lot of that stuff to work on, but that's just what I do. The like sync jokes and stuff are almost always like heavily written down, and then a lot of the stand-up stuff is less written down, if that makes any sense. Anybody got any questions about their personal lives? I'm trying to give people life altering advice here. I'm trying to really I'm trying to really delve into your beautiful minds. I'm trying to delve into your beautiful personal lives. Do you know what I'm saying? Ask why you're insecure about the strongest guy at work. Ask why him and your wife keep hanging out and going to Buca de Beppo on weekends. What do you think about marrying young? Got no problem with that. I know people who marry young who are fucking happy as shit. I mean, it's person to person. I think if you're pressured into marrying young, I would say being pressured into marrying young is one of the worst things that can happen to you, just because you only got one life. You know what I mean? It is. I do think about this quite a bit. Um, those are sirens of people coming to arrest me for speaking the absolute fucking truth on this podcast. No. I really do think that the concept of you only have one life to live is something that is, like, over overstated to the point where people sort of get, like, desensitized to it, right? But it is kind of unfortunate because you gotta think sometimes, like, I'll just do the same thing over and over and over and over, and that is how you get, like, good at stuff, and that's how, like, whatever. But you gotta, like, stick your head up every now and again. Because 'cause I'm 27, honestly, like, there is a lot of shit where I'm like, "God damn, I wish I did some more stuff." My husband and I got married, like, 2 years ago when I was 20, and a lot of my peers make me feel like I'm missing out. Yeah, but not necessarily. I mean, you should I think that, like, it's also kind of cool because everybody's kind of just looking for an experience that's interesting and maybe even novel is like the word. But if you get married at 20, I mean, that is a really interesting experience. That's an interesting way of going about life. And you can have like a deep learning experience. Like I've had a girlfriend for 2 years, and before then I had only been like a number of sort of like tumultuous long-term relationships. And decent short-term relationships, and it's like it's all fine and stuff, but at the end of the day, it is one of those things where I remember very distinctly having this thought when I was single where I'm like, every time you get into a relationship or every time before, I would get into a relationship, I would be like, "Man, I'm missing out, I'm missing out." So every time you're single, it's like, yeah, it's fine, it's good. There's good shit happening, but at the end of the day, it's all the same. You still gotta look at yourself in the mirror. It doesn't matter if there's, like, a relationship involved or not, you know what I mean? Still gotta look at yourself in the mirror and then punch it as hard as you can. Every morning, you gotta listen, every morning you gotta wake up, look at yourself in the mirror, and just absolutely headbutt the shit out of that mirror. And it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or not when that happens. That you just that is that you gotta wake up. This is like my David Goggins speech. This is my like every morning you gotta wake up, punch your drywall as hard as you can, headbutt your mirror. That is my morning routine. That is how I stay absolutely zoomed in between the eyes. But great question. D845. Love your name. Also, very happy that I was able to win over Annabelle Alvarez. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I hope that that you do not feel slighted by my mispronunciation. Well, these are all the questions I got. I could wrap up, or if anyone wants to throw anything in the chat, you can go right ahead. Don't be shy. There's no judgment here. I will not I will not offend you by saying no, your dog is not the reincarnation of your grandma's spirit. I will not attack you by saying no, you cannot get into the Olympic qualifiers for wrestling even though you are 65 and have never wrestled a day in your life. That's not what I'm in the business of. Okay? That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to tell you to headbutt your mirror. Okay? That's what I'm here for. That's what I live for. Welcome. All right, folks. Well, until next time, thank you. I'll continue to do this. I'll try to find ways to make it a little more interesting. You know what I mean? But it's a work in progress. I appreciate you being here for the, work in progress that it is. But thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good one.